What's up, real ones? Welcome to Let's View It. And the craziest thing has happened to me. YouTube-wise, at least to me it's crazy because I'm a really small channel and it's only happened one other time. But someone responded to my video. One of the people I was talking about on my video responded to it and made a TikTok to it. You guys know how I make the fake Tourettes TikTok content creators? Well, it was one of them. Her name is Shay, and she has over 1 million followers. So she went and made a response video, and all her little million minions joined in on all the fun in the comment section and came after me. They came after your boy. So, of course, as I always will do, if you respond to me directly, I'm always going to respond back. Now, with that being said, there are a few disclosures I like to make. One is, I know I'm a very sarcastic person, and I'm not talking about just in this video. I'm talking about in most of my videos in general. I talk a lot of mess. I make a lot of jokes, and even though I am doing that, it is never to incite harassment or to go after that person or anything like that. If you really want to stick it to them extra, just share my video. Help me help you. But in no way am I about bullying. I'm against bullying. That's why whenever I talk mess, it's always to someone I feel deserves it. It's always to someone that I feel is on that bully type stuff. It's always to someone that I feel has no respect for a person or maybe people. But I've always come from the angle of, if you want to act like that, if you want to be that type of person, well, then I'll stick it to you. And if that's not the situation and I'm talking mess, it's always in a joking way, like on my funny videos or something like that. But I would never directly just bully someone or think you should, because you shouldn't. Now, with that being said, I do not believe that has happened with any of my viewers. I do not believe any of my viewers have bullied people over my videos, because what's the odds out of 4 views that one of them was a bully? The reason why I'm saying it is because I'm making this video and I'm learning when you talk about certain groups, you better put some type of disclaimer out there, because they will try to twist what you're saying and what you're doing into something that is not. I'm not saying that's what's gonna happen. I'm just saying it's possible. So I want to make it clear. I'm not about violence, hate, or bullying in any way. Okay? Now I got one more disclaimer and a spoiler alert. The second disclaimer or warning is to all of Shay's followers, fans, supporters, to any people that are watching this and you see Shay in this perfect, beautiful, pure light, and you think there are no red flags at all, you don't think she ever tells a fib, if that's the image that you want to keep, if that's the perception that you want to have of her, stop watching this video right now. I repeat, if you want to keep thinking that she's completely innocent and perfect and nothing she says could possibly be untrue, stop watching right now. Now, for the very last thing before I start this video, I'm going to say this will be my very last fake Tourettes TikTok content creator video. This will be the last one I will ever make. So in a way, I would think that Shay and her community and her comment section is getting their way. And really, I don't mind. So at the end of this video, I'm going to explain why this will be my very last fake Tourette's content creator video. And trust me, it's not the reason of what you would think. So you already know. Let's view it.
Hi everyone. There is something that I need to address because it is starting to get out of hand. 3 months ago, Law and Order, bitch, suck it. What the fuck? There is this YouTuber that created a video about me. Now, I didn't see it until today, but he basically addressed it, accusing me of faking both Tourette's syndrome and autism. Normally, I don't respond to things like this because the more attention that you give people like this, the more that they'll continue to do things like this. Normally, I only apply that to comments. I've never, really had people make YouTube videos about me. This creator also made YouTube videos, about my friends, accusing them of faking as well. She would be addressed.
Now that's news to me. I didn't know those were her friends. But all that does is make it seem even more suspicious because those girls act exactly like she does. For the most part, they all have similar tics. The odds of that happening is very, 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 very low. That 3 people together have basically the same style tics. Does that prove that Shay's faking her tics? No, not at all. In fact, it could just mean they're faking their tics and Shay just doesn't know it.
Shortly, because it's something that I can't legally be speaking on. Somebody is trying to dox me with my real first name instead of my middle name, because I use my middle name online for safety reasons. What the fuck? And they have been doing this for a while. There have been a lot of people harassing me because of these YouTube videos, even though they haven't gotten that many views. So let's get into it. First off, I'm going to be addressing the video about me because it just has so much misinformation about me that it's outrageous. I want to remind you.
Just want to point out again, whoever's doxing her, that's completely wrong. That's not the point of my videos. Again, I don't think it's coming from my videos because my views are really small. She's probably talking like regular small, like a few thousand. I'm lucky if I reach 100. The one I made on her went almost to 1,000 because she found out about it and all her little minions came after me. But other than that, my videos get like 7 views, 10 views, 27 views. And they're the best videos ever. But anyways, everyone deserves to feel safe.
Defamation of character is illegal. First point, my name is Bobby. I like to party. And if you don't believe me, why me shake my body?
Defamation of character is not just saying someone is faking Tourette's on TikTok. That's not defamation of character. Defamation of character is purposely knowing you're lying about somebody else to cause damage in their life in some way, whether it's physical, mental, financial, but you have to know for a fact that you're lying about it. There are reasons why people think she's faking it. Could you imagine how many people would be sued for defamation of character if all it was saying somebody's faking something on social media? Bruh. And I know the fact that she said that, maybe it's not a big deal, but it just kind of shows that she's not fully genuine, because that's not defamation of character. So why are you threatening or putting in the air lawsuits about people saying that you're faking Tourette's? I know for a fact there's reasons why I believe you could be faking Tourette's, but let me clarify that there are 2 types of faking Tourette's. You could not have Tourette's and say you have Tourette's and fake tits. Well, you could have that too, but fake tics. Or you could actually have Tourette's and still fake tics. Or exaggerate them, maybe not exaggerate them, but add more, if you want to call that exaggerating it. Or tic when you don't desire to tic. Or you can look at it another way. You can go online, say you have epilepsy and fake seizures and don't have epilepsy. Or you can have epilepsy and still fake seizures when you're not having seizures. And there are things that point to one or the other of this being the case here.
It's basically about how I'm faking Tourette's, that I'm exaggerating my tics.
That doesn't mean she can't just exaggerate a tic randomly, even if she doesn't feel like she needs a tic. Obviously she can. I can do it.
And that I've never suppressed a tic or suppressed a tic in a video, which is false.
She can suppress her involuntary tics. So she can't over-exaggerate it, but she can suppress it.
Just showing my diet.
What? I literally agreed to what she just said. She just said, I said she couldn't suppress tics, which is false, that she suppressed tics all the time in her videos, and then plays a clip of me saying she says she can suppress tics but can't exaggerate it. What was wrong with that? The point I was making is, how do you expect someone to believe that you can do one side of the spectrum but not the other? Like I could blink slow? Or I could blink fast. Blinking in general is an involuntary movement, but when I choose to control it, I can do either or. Any involuntary movement that you can control, you can do either or. You can slow it down or speed it up. And the fact that she's saying that she can't fake a tic when herself will tell you you can't tell if someone's faking Tourette's. Her whole community will tell you you can't tell if someone is faking Tourette's. The medical books will tell you you can't tell if someone is faking Tourette's. And on top of that, there has clearly been hundreds of people that have fake Tourette's. Specifically on TikTok, the most famous one is Ticking with Roses. She actually came out and her family came out and admitted that she was faking it. So the fact that she agrees, medical books agree, people with Tourette's, her friends agree that you can't tell when someone is faking Tourette's, which means people can fake Tourette's successfully, but apparently she's the only person in the whole world that can't fake a tic. This is what makes her seem disingenuous. A true real answer would be, of course I can fake a tic. Anybody in the world can fake a tic. But I do not fake tics because I'm not that type of person. Instead, she tries to disassociate herself from the crime altogether like it's not even possible. That's not being honest. Of course she can fake a tic. Of course she can.
And that I've never suppressed a tic or suppressed a tic in a video, which is false.
She can suppress her involuntary tics. So she can't over-exaggerate it, but she can suppress it.
I've shown my diagnosis many times now. I'm not going to continue to do so.
So she doesn't want to show her diagnosis stuff again. So with the help of my son, he found the videos of her showing her diagnosis. And understand that anything I say about her or put out there is stuff she's already said about herself and put out there. It's not me putting her stuff out there. Okay? Are we clear on that? So let's look at her first proof. Her first proof is a 504 for school. Now, when I analyze this, and you guys are going to trip out on what I did, but I did find something hella weird. Hella weird. And what it appears to be, I'm sure she definitely didn't expect someone to notice it. But let's start just with the regular, why are you even showing me this stuff type stuff. The first thing you're going to notice is right away on the top it says to the parents, guardian of, which is obviously going to have her name, right? It's out. It's blotted out. You completely blotted out who this letter is. What is that? And she tries to act so protective over her name, which I don't understand. We use our names all the time. All the time. You give your name to a stranger constantly, on a constant basis. Names have never been like this thing that's so fragile that we had to protect, like a social security number, a PIN number, a bank account number, just your name. Everybody knows your name. Even if you think you're hiding your name right now, I promise you there's someone out there that knows your name. It's your name. And honestly, I'm confused on how you think something is proof without being able to prove that it's yours. Or without us being able to prove that it's yours, if you know what I mean. Now, I understand you don't have to do this. I'm not saying you do, but I'm saying if you're attempting to do it, why would you do that? That makes no sense. That doesn't help your case at all. At all. So anyways, date of notice, March 29, 2023. So right now she's a sophomore in college. So this would be like, what, a junior in high school? Dear, again, name is gone. Name is gone. The blank section 504 committee. I didn't notice that before. That was one of those things where your brain just kind of fixes it, I guess. Or is that right? That doesn't seem right. The 504 committee has determined that there is evidence to indicate something have a disability, which could be substantially limiting or may have an effect on school, campus 504 committee has been made so that an appropriate service plan may be developed. Looks like a name again, and it says Cook. For some reason, this seems like a last name, and I'm guessing it's not Shay's last name. Because if she's going through all this effort to mark out her own name, why would she make that mistake? I would say she wouldn't, which now opens up the possibility that she didn't even mark this paper. That maybe this paper was already pre-marked. So whoever Cook has been referred to the 504 committee because the student is suspected of having a physical or mental impairment, which may substantially, whatever it says over there, probably something about making it difficult, following concentration, learning, and communication. And they got all 3 boxes checked. Describe the student's area of need and area of concern. Name crossed out is a student who has been diagnosed with a tic disorder. And this is very interesting because right here is what the tic disorder is. Now, if this is Shay's paper, she tells us what her tic disorder is all the time. It's Tourette's, right? We all know this. We all know Shay has Tourette's. So why would she put in the effort to block out what the actual disorder is? Now, if this is actually her paper, her letter, then I think I know why. And if it's not her letter, that could still probably be the reason why. Because either way, right here, it's not saying Tourette syndrome. Now, here's the weird part. Here's the weird part of this whole thing. This is the weirdest of the weird part that I noticed. You guys probably won't believe what it is. It's on the letter, but it's not words and it's not markings. You guys know what it is? The thumb. That's not Shay's thumb. I don't know why I decided to check to see if it's Shay's thumb, but I went through her videos, looked for some clearer images of her thumb, and her thumb does not look like that at all. Look at the difference. Look at how light her thumb is. Light-skinned, I mean. Look at how dark this thumb is. Look at that thumb. Also, this thumb, look at how it has the hitchhiker thumb. You see the contrast difference between the top part and how light it is down here. And look at how short and stubby that thumbnail is. Look at her thumb. No hitchhiker thumb, longer nail. It's almost identical shades from the bottom and top. The top is just a tiny bit darker because she's not that dark. This person seems darker. This person almost seems like they bite their fingernails. She does not look like she bites her fingernails. Look at that thumb. That is not her thumb. Does this mean this is not her paper? No, it doesn't mean it's not her paper. But I'm just saying, there's another, like, what the heck? So your proof so far is a 504 letter to school when you were a junior in high school. The letter has no name on it except for Cook saying peekaboo, and also completely looks like not you holding it, taking the picture. I'm not saying you're faking. I'm just saying when you guys come at people and act like they have these evil hearts and how could they possibly think this and that, maybe, just maybe, you should take a step back and look at what you're doing. And like I said earlier, if you see her in a perfect light, stop watching this video. Now, of course, you can sit there and explain all of this away all you want. Go for it. That's your prerogative. It's your life. But just know you have to explain it away. I just wanted to show one more even better picture of her thumb. Do you see her thumb? Look how light it is. Look how it blends. Almost the same complexion as under her thumb. Look at how long her thumbnail is. Look at how soft her thumb looks, like a girl's thumb. Look at this thumb. Just look at it. That's not her thumb. That's not her thumb. And if you think it is her thumb, then you're just trying really. Look. How is that her thumb? That's not her thumb. Now there's a part 2 to her proof, so let's check that out too.
This is a part 2. Core attention to my last post. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, feel free to go check that post out before you watch this one. This is basically just going to be, I throw coins at strippers, a little disclaimer about my diagnosis of Tourette's syndrome. These are my medical records. It's going to be somewhere on the screen.
Okay, so she's saying these are her medical records. If we look through it, what information do we have? Medical history, diagnosis, nothing. We have something that says Tourette's syndrome, October 2021. It looks like a screenshot, like it was on a computer, like it was on a phone, which is possible. Maybe she looked it up on a computer. But again, where's her name? How do we know this is yours? This doesn't make sense. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? So you're trying to tell me your followers like, there's the medical records? Bruh, I'm just saying, far as proof, you literally proved nothing except that you have forms that don't show your name on them. That's all you're proving. And again, a name is not that vital. So the fact that you're trying so hard to keep your name covered up is suspicious.
It says Tourette's syndrome, October 2021. First tick attack was in November of 2000.
Whoa. Slow down, man.
Of
Whoa.
tick attack.
Okay. So what we got here looks like a hospital bracelet with the date on it. Does she think dates is all we need? Here's a hospital bracelet with a date on it. Told ya it's real. What is she doing? She just keeps showing more and more stuff that we have no way of knowing if it's actually hers. No way. She's not even taking a picture or showing a picture of her with the actual bracelet on. It's just an arm. And in this case, It's just a bracelet. Are you guys seriously saying you can't understand at all why people might suggest something seems afoot? Are you being serious? Look, I'll be straight up. I was leaning towards that she has tics, but she's running with it. She decided, since I have these little tics here and there, that I might as well put on a show and gain viewers. I might as well become popular off of it. That's what I thought at first. But when she attempts to show you proof, it starts to make you think that she doesn't have it at all. That's all I'm saying. The more proof she shows, the more questions that come up. She was better off just saying, just like every other person that's faking it says, and say, that's sensitive information for you to ask for my medical proof, my diagnosis. I will not show that. She was better off saying that.
Was in November of 2021. However, they wanted to know when it started getting more severe, so they put it as October. I'm on clonidine and Abilify, 2 medications that treat Tourette's syndrome.
How did that even make sense? So her bracelet said November 2021, but she's saying on the diagnosis stuff, they put it back a month to see if it would get worse? How does that help? If I'm diagnosing someone on a certain day, how does me going, you know what though? I'm going to say you had it 6 months ago because I want to see if it gets worse. What? To see if it gets worse, you have to count it from the time you saw it till later. Moving a date backwards is not going to do anything at all. So again, I can't make sense of that. Maybe one of you guys can. I've never seen a doctor be like, well, you came in today to see me for this, and I'm going to diagnose you for that. But I'm going to diagnose you on a previous date that you weren't here. That doesn't make sense.
I'm also in CBIT therapy, which if you don't know what that is, shut up, bitch. It's therapy for people with tics and Tourette's. Which, by the way, you have to show your diagnosis and proof of your symptoms before you're even approved. Mind you, there is only one singular CBIT therapy in my area.
She does a lot of where she gives you pointless information, but it sounds like she's giving you information that she knows from experience. Like, first of all, everything she tells us is stuff you can completely Google and it'll pop up. The meds she's taking, the clinic she has to go to, that's all common information just from typing in Tourette syndrome in Google. Secondly, of course, you're not going to be able to go to some type of brain therapy clinic without a referral or a diagnosis of something. But the fact that you know something so common doesn't prove that you're going there. You didn't prove that you have an appointment there or that you go there or anything like that. And then the fact that there's only one, who cares? What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with whether or not you're faking it? You're just talking. You're just talking. It comes off as if you're just trying to sound informative because you're supposed to be informative because you live with Tourette's.
Do you know how hard it is to get accepted into something like that? Not only have numerous neurologists have agreed that I have Tourette syndrome, severe Tourette syndrome at that, and complex tics, but they've agreed that I need CBIT therapy and medication to treat my tics. You can literally see right there aripiprazole, which is...
Again, you're showing something without your name on it. Stop doing that. Just stop doing that. There's no reason to do that, whether you're lying or not. Whether that's your pill bottle or not, there's no point in showing it and covering your name. There isn't a point. Why are you doing that? For real, why are you doing that? It seems like you should know every time you cover your name on everything you show. You are now counteracting the proof you are showing. That's all you're doing.
Long for Abilify. Clonidine is being refilled, so I can't have that as proof on here. And I know people may be like, oh, but you don't need to prove yourself. Like, you don't need to, like, give explanations. Unfortunately, when you have a platform that's big and people know you for having a disability, they're going to accuse you of faking a lot. So it's best to have proof of your diagnosis. Although, if you are disabled and you do have an awareness account, you do not have to post proof of your diagnosis. You don't have to do that. You owe nobody that. However,
I agree. You don't have to prove anything. You don't. And you don't have to show fake proof either. I'm not saying that it's fake, but it's not sufficient. It's not real. That's not real proof. You don't have to do that either. You don't have to do any of it. I 100% agree with that. I'm not asking her to do it either, by the way. I don't care if she proves it or not.
tired. I'm sick and tired of this shit. Especially because I posted proof of how my tics were when I was a child. I'm just tired. Because when is it going to end?
Just to clarify, because child makes it seem very, very, very extremely young. She's talking about like 14, 15, something like that. She was a teenager in that video. How do I know? Because she has other videos dating that video, 2020, 2021, which is a very important date when it comes to this video in general, because that's also around the time when she got diagnosed. But it's also around a certain time in history and life that something happened. And I'm going to get into it a little bit later.
Now, you can have whatever opinions that you want about me. Like, you may think that I'm exaggerating Tourette's, but I still have Tourette's. You may think that I don't have Tourette's and I'm just faking. I don't care. However, have you never heard the term that if you don't have a good opinion, keep it to yourself? Because not only are you spreading false information, that can get you sued, by the way, but you're just being weird online, and for what? Anyways, that was all I have to say. I have to go pretty soon, so bye, guys. I just wanted to make this video one last.
There she goes with the sued thing. Why is she saying that? Is she really gonna go pay a lawyer thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to say someone says she's faking Tourette's on TikTok? You're just throwing out random threats. It doesn't make any sense. But at the same time, I'm supposed to think you're a genuine person. You don't make up stuff. But there's already a lot of red flags. I'm just saying. I'm not saying you're faking. I'm just saying there's fakeish stuff going on.
Shown my diagnosis many times now. I'm not going to continue to do so. But it's more so, spank that bitch. It's more so just the fact that Bluetooth connected, turn left. I don't know how to exaggerate a tick nor fake a tick on purpose, and he basically in his video showed him faking a tick. It's not that easy, especially when it's like severe tics, and you would have to keep up with it for years if you say that you have Tourette syndrome. In cases, tics can...
What she just said right there contradicts what she says about the fact that you can't tell if someone's faking it. Contradicts the medical books that say you can't tell if someone is faking it. Contradicts everything that they try to push when it comes to the community of Tourette's. And the reason why they say you can't tell if someone is faking it is because a tic, by definition, is literally any movement or vocal tic that is involuntary. This can be considered a tic. 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 Their whole premise is there is no way to prove if I'm doing it on purpose or if it's involuntary. There's no way to prove it. There's absolutely no way to prove it. Now, just because I did mine out of mockery, now she wants to say it's not that easy. Now that we're questioning if hers are authentic, oh, now it's not easy to do. Now it would take years and years and years. And I get that. I get that. The more you do something, the better you get at it, right? These people that are doing tics on TikTok, and I'm not saying Shay specifically, I'm saying in general, the ones that are faking it, they do it a lot. They do it for a long period of time, sometimes for years, and they do it a lot throughout the day. I think they do it so much that they do start to train muscle memory in themselves where it gets hard to stop doing it. I completely believe they do that. But for her to have a belief that you can't tell if someone's faking it and then contradict it by saying, well, it's not that easy to do a tic, especially if it's severe. Red flags, bro. Red flags. People want to believe everything she says. Go ahead. Let her talk in a circle around you. But clearly, there is something dishonest about her. Because all she would have to say is, anybody can fake a tic. You cannot tell if a tic is fake or not, like they try to preach in their educational realm. Just repeat that and just say, but I don't do that. That is being honest if you really aren't faking it and people are questioning you if you can fake one. You don't just play make-believe and go, no, I can't do it. I happen to be the only person in the world that can't do it. Again, you want to go after people for saying you're faking it. You want to say you're sick of it and you're sick of them and I wish it would just stop. But then you do this. You do this type of stuff, which just adds fuel to the fire. You literally don't think you're any part of the problem, do you? That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
Go away. With Tourette's syndrome, tics don't go away, so that's where it gets difficult. Mind you, I've had the same severity of tics for now over 6 years, so where would I have time to do this?
Again, she's contradicting herself. She literally has videos when people question, hey, I saw this video where you don't tic. Where were the tics then? Oh, people who have Tourette's don't tic 24/7. If we tic 24/7, and this is her words, I don't have the video and I'm not going to go look for it. If we tic 24/7, we would die. She has videos where she does not tic. And most of those videos are when she's trying to be a different type of person, like sexual, looking in the camera like, music will be playing behind her. Just like how a regular girl will make a TikTok that's sexual. That type of stuff. In those videos, she rarely tics. And I think it's just because it ruins what she's trying to do. In those videos, she's not trying to come off as this Tourette's girl. She's just trying to come off as that average TikTok girl trying to look good with music behind them. All that Tourette stuff would ruin that. It would ruin the whole point, the whole feel, everything. Tourette's works for her other videos because it brings attention. But the fact that she has several videos, it's not the majority of them, but it's enough of them where she does not tic. And now she wants to tell a story that she never stops ticking so she doesn't have time to fake tics. Come on. Come on. And the fact that all your defenses are contradictions of what you said earlier is suspect. It's suspect as hell. As a content creator who makes videos, you have to remember what you say. You can't just say anything and then 3 months later say something else that contradicts what you said earlier. It's still out there. It's still out there. Or go delete those videos first and then change your story.
To the suppression facts, you can see it. You can literally see that I'm suppressing tics right now, even though they may still be happening because I can't completely control or stop my tics, but I can suppress them when needed. Let go. they get more severe. To react to, I'm gonna kill.
I know you can suppress them. I believe that. I said you can suppress them. What I didn't understand is how you can say that, but then say you can't fake one, but everyone else in the world can. That's what I don't get. I'm not sure how she missed that.
Somebody react to another point in my videos where I brought up the fact that I do have tics that make me speak different languages. However, what a lot of people didn't seem to understand is that I somewhat understood these languages, not fluently to where I'm like, I can speak it on a regular basis, but I've heard these words and phrases before and have taught myself a little bit of Russian. So I have tics that are in Russian because that if I stop watching social media as a whole, my tics will stop.
Hold up. No one misunderstood her. That's how she presented it. She said, they asked, do your tics make you speak in a different language? And she said, yes, sometimes I speak Russian. And then she listed a few more languages. What does that sound like? Wouldn't you be like, well, I don't speak a different language, but I will echo a phrase of a language that I've heard before, but I don't know what I'm saying. Doesn't that make more sense? Instead, you're trying to make it perceive as something better than it is. That's what you're doing. And then when people call you out, I guess like me, when I make a video, all of a sudden you want to clarify it. If I don't even make this video, you don't even clarify it. Again, at some point, you have to look at yourself and look at what you're putting out there, what you're saying, what your words are. If you're going to be a content creator, you have to be very hyper observant of what you're saying and what your message is, because it clearly sounded like you were trying to tell people your Tourette's will make you start speaking a different language. And I feel like you know that.
It's not fluently to where I'm like, I can speak it on a regular basis, but I've heard these words and phrases before and have taught myself a little bit of Russian. So I have tics that are in Russian because that if I stop watching social media as a whole, my tics will stop.
She actually exposes herself and shows where her tics come from. If this was true, according to her theory, if she would just stop watching stuff and hearing stuff, her tics would go away because she would have nothing to feed her tics. She's a faker. She's a faker.
That's not how Tourette syndrome works, for one. I have echolalia, and he did put these videos in there where I stated that these tics from social media are caused by echolalia because it's things that I've seen and heard. That is how echolalia works. He then goes on to completely invalidate what echolalia is and what tics are in the first place. If you don't know what something is, you probably shouldn't be speaking on it. Oh, me.
So I never invalidated echolalia. What echolalia is, there's two types actually. So one is an immediate one and one is delayed. And the immediate one, it means you echo something you hear instantly. So if you hear someone say something, you'll echo it right then and there. In the delayed one, you will echo something you heard, but it could be within any amount of time, a day, 2 days, a week, a year. You never really know. Now, with all that being said, it is all very, 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 very random. There is no rhyme or reason to why your brain chooses certain phrases. It could be a random conversation you overheard. It could be from the TV. It could be from social media. So with that being said, when you see a group of people that say they have Tourette's and their tics seem to match each other, the odds of that is extremely, extremely, extremely low. Maybe a couple of their tics might match, but when more than half of them match, that is not real. That is not real. That's not how Tourette's works. Tourette's is random. Echolalia is random. It doesn't know if it's picking a viral saying. So sometimes when a lot of their tics seem to be just viral stuff, it can raise a red flag. Or maybe they're just on social media way, way, way too much. But I already said too much for someone that doesn't know about echolalia. Explain this to me. Why do we live in a world that when someone tells you something you don't want to hear, you instantly think they don't know what they're talking about. That doesn't agree with me. That's not what I like to hear. He must not be certified. Secondly, I'm just going to put your secret out there, Shay, and to anybody else who says that stuff about, oh, they must not know about this syndrome and that syndrome. There's not much to know. I would not be shocked at all if everything you know you just Googled real fast. You are saying the most basic stuff, and it's not your fault because that's all there is. I get to the outside, people on the outside that don't look up this stuff, they think there's probably like this big ass medical book that you have to blow dust off of to learn about echolalia. There is not. So it's kind of annoying when people try to act like they have this wealth of knowledge when they don't. And you've been wrong on several things. You contradict yourself. So really, who are you to tell somebody what they know?
Faking autism thing.
She couldn't even stick to this lane. She couldn't even stick to just faking fake tics. She had to try to join the fake autistic motherfuckers.
It's really not funny, but it is.
Yes, it is funny because I'm funny. I said it funny, it's funny. It's okay, I win the day, you laughed, haha.
Because why would I want to fake autism? When my symptoms of autism...
Why do people, and I'm not saying she is, but why do people that are faking stuff say, why would I want to fake stuff? Especially if you were truly faking what they're claiming you're faking. If you're faking Tourettes online, if you're faking autism online on social media, then that means there is something mentally wrong with you. At that point, you guys, to all you mentally wrong with you guys out there faking diagnosis, at that point, you don't need a rational reason. You don't need a rational reason. But since she can't seem to find a reason, let's start with this one.
Guess who? Wow, hit 1 million on TikTok. Me.
I don't know, maybe that could be a reason. Maybe the fact that you've only had your TikTok account for 9 months and you're over 1 million followers? Could that be a reason? I don't know, maybe not, who knows? Plus, when your defense is, why did I do that? That means if someone could figure out why you would do something that now makes you guilty, stop using that as a defense. Why would I do that? Oh, good, he can't figure out why. We're good, guys. We're good.
It's really not funny, but it is because why would I want to fake autism? When my symptoms of autism first started, I was super young, like toddler young. Toddlers don't know how to fake conditions. That's definitely penis. I definitely just want to start faking autism and sensory issues and speech issues. And I just want to not understand social cues on purpose. Yes, I just want to have meltdowns and hit myself in the head and stem aggressively because I'm bored. Something like autism, that you can't tell that somebody's faking autism that easily. Watching a video of them, and I'm going to state why. Because if you've ever gotten an autism assessment, you would know that it's not done in one session. It's done in multiple. Mine took multiple sessions and costed thousands of dollars. I've been formally assessed by multiple doctors. The thing with this point is that it is not easy to get diagnosed with autism when you are Black, especially when you are a Black woman. That it's hard in general to get diagnosed with things when you're Black or a person of color. Imagine how hard it is to get diagnosed with autism in this case. Majority of the time for me and...
First off, we don't see you right now as a toddler. We're looking at you right now and what you do right now. And what you do right now does not show that you're autistic. Now, if you're going to say that autism is this infinite spectrum, so no matter what, you can squeeze yourself into it, well, there's nothing we can do about that. But as society and how we know autistic people and what they have to go through, you're not showing that. What would make you autistic? And as far as you saying all these doctors said this and all these doctors said that, it doesn't matter because you already show that you'll just say stuff. The thing is this, This is what you guys as Tourette content creators have to understand. If someone thinks you're going to lie about faking Tourette's, and I'm not saying she is, I'm just saying if that's the case, don't you think that anything else you could possibly say will be discredited to them? It only makes sense if you were lying about it and faking it, that you're gonna lie about doctors saying you have it. What else can you do? That's literally all you can do. These type of lies are lies that demand more lies to keep the lie. Now, if you've shown proof of your Tourette's and didn't block your name and all this other weird stuff that came with that proof, then people could start taking you at your word and go, well, whenever she says something, she does show the proof and it does seem to be correct. Now you're building credibility. But showing shaky proof, even though you don't have to, but for whatever reason you chose to, and when you did, it was shaky. And that's supposed to be your proof. Now we're just supposed to believe any words you say. Obviously, that's not what's going to happen. Right when you said all these doctors said this and that, I'm instantly now thinking, show me the proof. That's all that's going to happen. You're kind of digging your own hole in a way.
And mental health issues. So was I at first. The last point about me specifically is go back. Suck a dick. 16 bags of dicks. What the fuck? I made a video stating some rules and boundaries that I have for when people see me in public.
Think you would blow up, but you had an idea that you might blow up. That's why you're doing it.
These being, please do not approach me when I'm with my family. His reasoning for this, he thinks it's because my family thinks I'm faking.
If you're with your family, please stay away. Why would you even make that a rule? Because my family knows me best, and they might find it funny if people are coming up to me because they think I have tics. Because my family's gonna find it weird that everyone thinks I have Tourette's.
Majority of them don't, some of them do if they're distant. My diagnosis for Tourette syndrome, I was a minor. Let's state that for one. And when you're a minor in the United States specifically, you cannot receive a diagnosis without a guardian or parent being present or signing over consent. Numerous reasons as to why I don't want my family and friends being addressed in public.
Again, there's no proof of this diagnosis. There's only proof that she showed a diagnosis of somebody's Tourette syndrome. Possibly hers, possibly. But why is she acting like, I told you guys, I showed you, there should be no more questions? This makes it hard to take her serious. It makes it hard to take her serious.
Because, for one, harassment. They have been harassed. People have tried to dox them. It's gotten to a point where I'm concerned about their safety. On top of that, he also brought up a point where I said, please.
Wait, so she's claiming she doesn't want people to come up to her. And mind you, she's talking about her fans. This whole time, in context, she's talking about her fans, like how she's willing to hang out with them. She's willing to hang out in this situation, but when she's with her family, she doesn't want you guys coming up to her. Not enemies, not people that will harass her, not people that will harass her family. You wouldn't want those people coming up to you no matter what, especially if you're alone. If anything, if someone's going to harass you, you would probably want your family around. To say that people just come up to her and harass her and her family and dox her family, and that's why she's saying that, that is not what she said in the video. I don't know why she's switching up her story now, because I'm probably right. I have never seen a video with her and her family involved, and they don't have to be, but she claims that they're on her account. They see how she acts and all this stuff. This is my thing. If your family's on that account, I don't know who's in your family, your mom, your dad, brothers, sisters, cousins, I don't know who. But you're trying to tell me that you receive all this harassment, hate, comments, and stuff on your account, and your family just lets you sit there and take it? None of them are willing to come up and say, look, I'm such and such to her, and this is real, or something to defend you to lessen the hate? Is that serious? I'm not going to have a family member getting harassed online and I'm not willing to be like, hey, I'll be a co-signer. I'll back up your story because I know it's real. The fact that she changed the whole context of why she doesn't want people approaching her with their family when it was just rules of her fans engaging with her, and now she's changing it to a harassment doxing thing, again, is sus. Her responding to my video is going to be one of her biggest regrets, but her making her video led me down the path to come to the conclusion that I'm not making these fake Tourettes TikTok content creator videos ever again. So in that way, I guess she got a positive out of it. But she's twisting stuff around. She's changing her story. And as you can see, she's not showing the clip of what I was responding to.
Not tell people where you saw me at. In his video, he was like, well, who does she think she is, Michael Jackson?
It says, if you see her in public, don't tell anyone else where you saw her, because it might be a place she goes often. Does she think she's Michael Jackson?
No, I'm a woman, and unfortunately people have been sending me threats, essay threats, threats to physically harm me, etc. So if they know where I go on a regular basis, they could harm me. I don't think I'm an A-list celebrity, but I think it's getting to a point where...
What is she talking about? Look, you can't do nothing about someone seeing you in public if they recognize you from TikTok and them telling someone else, hey, guess who I saw at In-N-Out? People probably say they see you somewhere all the time. It's like you're just fabricating a lot of dramatic stuff that I honestly don't think is as deep or as serious as she's saying. Because if it was, why the hell would she keep doing this? And I get you have over 1 million followers. But if I saw you at some place and then I tell someone else that I saw you at some place, you're trying to tell me that's a problem? Then why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? It makes no sense. Because you're talking about in a public setting. So people everywhere are seeing you there. It's not like you're saying, if you see me at a very private event, don't tell people that. You're saying in public, what, at Target, at Walmart, Disneyland? What are you talking about? And not only that, people obviously 1 billion times more famous than you go out to public places and guess what? People say they are there. It's crazy that you think this is how something should go. Your fans should see you at a public place and then be like, oh my God, that's Shay. You know, the one with Tourette's on TikTok? Oh man, I gotta make sure I never tell anybody I saw her here. That could be dangerous for her. Bruh, come on. Who is actually eating this up? Your followers actually eat this up? If your life was this dangerous that you can't let people know where you're at, so dangerous that they can't approach you if you're around family, then why don't you have a security group or something? Like you said, you're just a girl. What would you do if danger came? And like you're claiming, it seems like it's coming at all angles. But then when someone doesn't take you serious, you're like, those are some of the meanest people.
Yeah, I'm a woman. I have a platform. People have threatened to harm me before. They've threatened to harm my friends, my family, my boyfriend. So yeah, obviously I'm going to be a little bit protective of that. The problem with interacting with my supporters in public, that's not the issue. The issue is me being safe and me setting boundaries, which any influencer or public figure should be doing. Completely forgot about this, but in his...
That's not what I'm talking about. Of course you're going to set boundaries. Like, obviously I don't want you harassing me. Maybe not touching me, but the boundaries that you set do not make you any safer. What you are saying makes no sense. You're trying really hard to, but it makes no sense. Explain how not having your family around makes you safer. Not having your boyfriend there makes you safer. If what you are doing is creating this much danger, if what you're saying is real, it's creating this much danger all around your family, why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? That's a real question. Why are you doing it? For the greater good of Tourette's? I'm not buying it. The problem is you're too dramatic. And there might be a reason for that, which we'll learn later.
Point about me faking autism, he's like, well, she looks approachable.
The autistic thing, it seemed like she just dropped it and never really made it a thing. She wasn't ticking. So apparently, while she's faking autism, she can't fake Tourette's at the same time. Accusations she's saying people say about her, they don't say about her. She doesn't even look mean. She looks nice. She sounds nice. But she's really not nice because she's faking disorders.
And when I stop masking, I look unapproachable and mean. And yeah, that hurts my feelings because I'm not a rude person. But then to go on and say that I'm not a nice person because I fake disabilities when you have no proof of that, I would be treading lightly with what I say online. He made about my friends are pretty immature and weird. He gets to insulting my friend's brother.
Drug her brother into it, saying, look, my little immature goofy ass brother sees me doing it and he's not acting like it's not normal for me.
Saying that if they...
She's completely not showing what he was doing. If you saw how he was acting, what he was doing, then you would have completely understood why I called him immature and goofy ass when he was there to support his sister. That's what he was there for. But, you know, she edited it the way she wanted to. And kudos to her for that. But that's the difference from, you know, being a fake content creator and being someone like me who's just real and authentic. I don't do things like that. I don't try to make something seem like it's not. And as far as the masking thing goes, that's getting real old. And again, I'm going to say it again because that fake autism stuff is just crazy. Autistic people don't have the option to cover up their autistic symptoms. That's basically what they call masking. They're basically saying, you don't notice my autism because I hide it. There are parents with autistic kids. There are people living with autism. And that's not an option for them. Stop saying that. That is social media crap.
There would be videos of them in school.
There would be video of her doing this outside of her family recording it. Like other students trying to go viral, recording her in the middle of the class acting like this.
Well, no, because normal people don't go around filming others without their consent. On to again.
People film people all the time without their consent. Oh, now all of a sudden she doesn't own a TikTok account, right? We've never seen recordings of people inside the classroom without the teacher's permission. Like when the teacher's going off or cursing at them and they're recording it, they're like, Mr. Johnson, can I record you first before you go off and curse out the class? Oh yeah, Sam, go ahead. Turn on the camera first. Are you ready? This will be a good one. You'll go viral for it. I have seen kids bark in their classroom, argue with their teachers in the classroom, act like clowns in their classroom, and guess how I saw it? All because they all have cell phones. We literally live in a society, especially on social media, where people get filmed without consent. You know why? Because it's not illegal. That's why. Because it's not illegal. So why is she saying this? Why is she saying, because normal people don't film people without their consent? Since when? Since when? Since you wanted to make this video and try to have a point? What I'm saying is most likely the truth. If this is how you guys act in the middle of a classroom on at least enough of a consistent basis of what you guys show us, you're gonna get caught on film. I don't care what you say. Kids don't give a damn about, oh, is this normal? Is this polite? They're kids. They're teenagers. They're gonna whip out their phone and say, record her doing all that crazy ass stuff. Then go put it online and hopefully we get a bunch of views and likes. And again, you're contradicting yourself. At one moment, you'll be talking about how you're bullied in school and how people bully you for faking Tourette's. And then the next moment, it's like, why would someone film someone having Tourette's if they're normal? Keep your story straight. You can't have everything all at once. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So you might as well not even get the cake. But you get what I'm saying. You literally play both sides of the fence when you need to. And that makes you look suspicious. It makes you look suspicious. But not only did she come at me, her little fan base did too in the comment section. So let's see, what they said. It's got to be good. You ever watch Evie? That has nothing to do with nothing. Grown man, by the way. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. That I'm grown? Would it be better if I was like 16 or something? How old do they want me to be? Jay? Oh, Jay is just jealous. Jay, don't worry about it, man. You'll be grown one day too. And then someone will call you a grown-ass man. Let's see. His channel is called Let's View It. If anyone wants to go see his YouTube channel or report him. Report me for what? What are you reporting me for? Because I don't believe everything she says? Get out of here. The dude don't got Tourettes and trying to expose someone who actually has Tourettes. Well, that's a good point, because if you don't have something, that means you can't expose someone that does have it. That's just the math. We all know this. That's just the math. Sue for defamation. Bet he'll stop then. You'll have the medical proof. What? You guys don't even know what defamation is. Who are your followers? Just a bunch of two brain-celled idiots? Defamation means you are purposely lying on someone, knowing that you're lying because you know the actual truth, and you're doing it to cause harm to that person. It's not just saying someone is lying. I laid out all kinds of reasons right now of why I think there could be some untruth to what she is saying. I just did that. Secondly, I am not even trying to ruin her life at all. I don't know her. I never try to contact her. I don't care if she goes on doing this for 6 more years and gets 5 million more subscribers. I don't care. The original reason why I ever made these fake Tourette's videos is the same reason I make the fake autism videos, and that's because I feel it's wrong when there's people that really are dealing with these issues in a real way, not getting a bunch of followers on TikTok, not living the life and all this stuff. In a real way, this is not happy times for them. They have autism and they can't just turn the symptoms off. In other words, I was doing it, sticking up for people that really, truly have disabilities that are enabling them. That's why I did it. But this will be my last fake Tourette's video, and I'm still going to explain it later. Girl, please name drop his channel so everyone can report him, because the more views the video gets, the more death threats, essay comments, and more disgusting and horrible stuff about you will just be said even more than now. So now can I sue her for defamation of character because she didn't really say my video is the one that's causing the so-called death threats and all that stuff? It's you two brain-celled idiots that came up with that. She said YouTube channels, YouTube videos in general. So the fact that you guys are now putting the blame on me and you can't possibly even prove that it's my video that did it, maybe you should get sued for defamation of character. Super real, yeah, damn right. Grown-ass man targeting a girl with Tourette's syndrome. I'm not targeting her. And who cares if I'm grown? Why you keep saying I'm grown? I don't bother her. I never even thought she would see this video. That's absolutely amazing to me. I don't know how she saw it. I'm not targeting her. I go after everybody that does it. She's just the first one to ever respond to one of them. Go through my channel, you'll see. And really, let's be honest, most of these comments to her, to Shay, these so-called fans, are just perverts. They're just perverts. They're trying to act like her knight in shining armor and get in her good graces. They're just perverts. You can literally tell her tics are real.
Bruh, from her own mouth, you can't tell if someone's faking it. So...
He's a grown-ass man, by the way. Are most of her followers blind or something? Why do they keep saying that? I think everyone can see that I'm a man and I'm grown. What does that have to do with what she's doing and what I see she's doing? She is a grown woman. She is a sophomore in college. And besides that, this has nothing to do sexually, relationship-wise. So why do you guys keep bringing up my age and my gender? What does that have to do with it? Genuinely curious. You say you've had the same severity of tics for 6 years, but weren't you working as a server last year? How? Can you even hold a beautiful blender? Can you hold a beauty blender in your hand? Not too long ago, you said you could drive. I think these are reasons people may question things. I'm genuinely asking now. That's called logical, right? You see, this person right here sees the controversies, the conflictions of what she says. You can clearly find a video within 6 months where she's not ticking. I promise you, just go on her channel and look, you'll find it. So she was lying. You guys, she lies. The bottom line is she lies. What she's lying about, now that gets kind of hard to pin. To me, she's like the next level of, doing the whole Tourettes thing online. She's ahead of the game a little bit. But still, when someone is lying, there's gonna be things that don't line up. It's just the way it is. As a speech therapist, I'm so disturbed by people who have such a big opinion that are so uninformed and they don't care. As a person smarter than Honeybee, I can't stand when people think because they say something they don't like or they don't agree with, they think they're uninformed. Listen, Honeybee, I was a psychiatric technician for 17 years. Do you even know what that is? Probably not. But you probably recognize the word psychiatric, right? So that's a hint. And you probably recognize the word technician. Well, to put it in a little bit easier terms for you to understand, that means I was an LVN, but heavily more on the psych side. Meaning I've dealt with psych patients. I know medications. I had to pass meds, give IMs. Also, I worked in the country's largest mental institution, criminally mental institution in the world. It's what I'm retired from to this day. That's why I do these YouTube channels. That's why I have so much free time with my daughter now, because I had to get back surgery. So, Miss Honeybee, who don't like people who are uninformed, you now have self-hate because you're uninformed about me. That's how dumb this world has become. They just assume they think they know the knowledge that someone contains in their brain without even asking them. She could have asked what I knew about it, but she didn't. No, she didn't. And her being a speech therapist, who cares? I've worked in professional fields and I know that most professionals don't really know that much. Yeah, I know, your cover's blown. Anybody want to know about echolalia? Look it up. You'll learn it in less than an hour. You'll learn what she knows in less than an hour. But thank you, Honeybee, for sharing that you're not liking yourself that much right now. All you got to do is become more informed and you start loving yourself again. This grown man, here we go with the grown man, they're very good at being observant, is making a video about a young lady genuinely so weird. What's so weird about telling people about someone that's possibly lying, manipulating other people, playing with other people's emotions? Why is that weird, you weirdo? What is weird is all these other, what seem to be grown men, little pervs, maybe they're teenage pervs too, that keep getting in her comment section to say a grown man is making a video on her. That is what's weird. Stop trying to play knight in shining armor. You're not gonna get with her. She doesn't know who you are. She doesn't care who you are. And stop being a weirdo and keep your little pervy fingers off the keyboard. He's proof that podcasting equipment and cameras are far too accessible for the unintelligent population. Pretty Betty. She's so witty. She's so witty. I know she has like at least 10 rough drafts of that because that was clever. That was really clever. Oh my God, I think I should stop this channel right now. The blonde is eating. No, she's not. You just haven't heard my response. No, she's not eating nothing. This is actually so disgusting. He's a grown-ass man harassing a young girl. Do you not know what harassing is? Do you not know what harassing is? And just because I'm a grown man doesn't mean I can't talk about an adult girl. Secondly, I'm not harassing her. I'm not contacting her. I'm not trying to contact her. I'm not trying to get her to contact me. I'm not doxing her. I'm not anything her. In fact, after I made the video, that was it. And like she said, that was 3 months ago. Stop being little simps in the comments. Sleepy Shark 33, Simpity Dimpity. Please take legal action immediately. Stay safe. Oh, another genius online. Take a legal action against someone that's done nothing. Spend thousands of dollars to try to do this. Stay safe. Again, if she's having the problems that she's saying she's having, it didn't come from my rinky-dink channel. And the problem she's saying she's had is before I ever made that video. You guys are dummies. I'm dumb. Okay, I'm gonna do one more and then we're gonna move on because I need to end this video. It's gotten so dang long. I did not know it would get this long. I hate it when people accuse people of faking a disorder. Clearly, they're forgetting that tics can be different for everyone. It especially gets agitating when the people who try to call others fakers when they themselves don't even have the disorder. Bro, it doesn't matter if someone has the disorder and they call her a faker. That's not going to make any difference to you. So, shut up. Secondly, there's other reasons of why I think it might not be 100. Okay, get over it. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to a little collection of some questionable things she said as we make our exit to this video. And then I'm going to tell you why exactly I'm never going to make a fake Tourettes TikTok content creator video again.
People at school had also found my awareness account and used that against me to say that I was faking because I never tick during class. And I do. Like, I do that, like, multiple times a day.
That clip, I just wanted to show that this is not just a TikTok thing or a social media thing. People at her school say she fakes it too. Now, you can say they're all bullies, you can say they're all lying, you can say whatever you want to say. But to me, I have never seen someone with a real disorder that they actually display at school and then people say they're lying. I've never seen it. Now she's saying there's a group of people that actually say that she never tics at school. You can believe what you want to believe. I'm just saying it's a red flag. If these people known her at school and they're saying this, that's very odd.
So I had this group on Instagram. Basically, it was for people with Tourette's because, you know, more friends with Tourette's is just a connecting experience. I get this text from this girl and she asked me to add her into our chat, so I did. So this girl would basically just be texting in our group chat. We were super active. Oh my god. Fuck off. Suddenly, I get a text from her one day telling me that she was faking the entire time, that she never had Tourette's. She just wanted to fit in. I was so fucking confused because the entire time I was so convinced, oh my god, that she actually had Tourette's.
The reason why I wanted to show this clip is to show all these idiots out here that even Shay, who says she has Tourette's, got faked out by somebody else. And even she thought the faker had real Tourette's. So when people say, oh, you can tell Shay's tics are real, or that my mocking, or it was a fake tic, looked like it was fake, you guys are lying. Out of Shay's own mouth, you can't tell if someone is faking tics. So if you can't tell if someone's faking ticks, you can't tell if someone's ticks are real. And if Shay, a real Tourette's person, can get fooled, then trust and believe you can too.
Get ready with me while I talk about everything that I'm diagnosed with. Also, ignore the loud ass fucking lawnmower. Number 1, the condition that I talk about the most on here will always be Tourette syndrome. I have borderline personality disorder and bipolar 2. Oh, autism and ADHD. And more, but I have to go get tested for some more stuff, and also those are just pretty much the only ones that I talk about online. I have POTS and a condition that causes seizures. If you don't know what POTS is, basically it makes me pass out, have a high heart rate, and low iron. Oh my god. I also have CPTSD, major depressive disorder. Oh my goodness, my neck just cracked. And generalized anxiety disorder. Sorry. I know like I didn't really do too much to get ready because I'm just going to therapy, so I don't really need to do too much today.
Now, I just wanted to show there that she's saying she has a whole list of diagnoses. Right? She said a whole list of diagnoses that she has. And I want you guys to remember that because this is all going to come together and I'm going to come to some sort of conclusion, I will say. But the one disorder that I want to highlight that she says she got diagnosed with is borderline personality disorder. And the reason why is if anybody has ever dealt with someone with borderline personality disorder, you know that people with that disorder do attention-seeking stuff. They are the type of people to make up illnesses, injuries, and I'm not making light of this at all. I'm just trying to educate. They will also say they want to kill themselves. Sorry, they want to delete themselves. You know, sometimes more than once, and usually don't follow through, or they do tiny things that they know won't get the job done. For an example, in a crisis center I worked in, there was a borderline girl, and she had a habit of going in, cutting her wrists, and then she would come out and show you and go, look what I did to myself. Because she wanted all the pampering and for people to say you're worth more than that. She wanted all the attention from it. She never made a really bad wound. It was just enough to get you to have to do something. And the reason why I'm pointing this out is if she's saying she has borderline personality disorder, again, I'm not saying she's faking it, but it would actually make sense when she says, why would I do it? Well, a borderline personality disorder is another reason why you would do it. I'm just saying. I guess this video clip right here is of her fainting. I'm just putting that there because it just seems odd to me. What are you doing? Like you feel like you're gonna faint and then you set the camera up? I don't know. And I've seen people faint and it's not like that. You don't slowly just kind of shut off like you're falling asleep. You guys can make your own opinion about this one if you want. I'm not saying nothing.
Has one or more conditions that coexist with another. Goddamn. I want to talk about this. There is another condition that a lot of people reference when they accuse somebody of faking a condition. I don't know how to say it, but it starts with an M, and it literally has munch in it. I just don't know how to say it. Anyway, that condition is rare. Even rarer than having comorbidities. Even if I did.
Now this clip is just for educational reasons. She's talking about Munchausen. It's a condition where you'll basically fake illnesses, disorders. You'll send yourself to the hospital a lot. It's a real condition. That's what people are saying that she has. Is it possible? Sure, it could line up. It's something that could be possible. We're almost done here. I'm almost at my conclusion of what I possibly think is going on here.
I've done a video on this before, but I'm posting this one on Instagram, so what are the different kinds? Robert, it's pissing me off, of tic disorders. I've done a video on this before, but I'm posting this one on Instagram, so I'm just redoing it. Let's start off with the most known tic disorder. Corey Kenshin. Because my name is Corey Kenshin. Tourette syndrome. Tourette syndrome is a tic disorder that causes tics, but these tics have to last longer than a year. My name is Bobby. I like to party. And it has to start before the age of 18. Most likely during childhood, but it can start at any age, before the age of 18. And with Tourette syndrome,
Okay, she's just going over the different types of tics. There's a reason why I'm showing this clip, and I want to fast forward to it. You can have tics without having Tourette's. Tourette's is a certain classification of a tic syndrome. Tourette's is a certain classification of, a functional neurological disorder. But there's a disorder she brings up, and I want to show it to you guys because she keeps denying that it's real.
For some reason with F&D, there's this whole thing going around that's like, oh, well, that's social media tics. Like, that's not real. That's false. What it was like developing Tourette's in 2020 through 2021. This is basically when Tourette's content started getting famous. And because of that, I was accused of faking a lot. Oh! There was some news article about how people were basically developing tics from social media. That is not how tics work. You cannot develop a neurological disorder from the internet. Anyway, this is the famous AK-47. You're literally born with it, but it can develop at any point in your life. But yeah, with that news article going around, there was basically like a claim that like teenage girls were developing some type of tic disorder from the internet and all of that shit. So when I first went to the doctor for it, they assumed that I just had the social media tic disorder, which does not fucking exist. I ended up seeing a neurologist and I got diagnosed with Tourette's anyway, so. But yeah, it was just crazy. A lot of fake claiming was going around then because I guess a lot of people were faking it or lying about it.
Fake claiming. We'll get a little bit more into that whole phrase in a minute. It's a phrase that the Tourette's community came up with when you say someone is faking Tourette's. They're fake claiming. Now, the reason why I wanted to show this video clip, and it's the last one, is because, again, she's manipulating her audience and lying to them. She brought up the social media tic epidemic and said it's not real. It was some news article that came out, trying to play it off as like a random news article that didn't know what they're talking about. And then it blew up into a huge thing. And then her doctors thought that's what's going on with her. That is absolutely incorrect. And I'm going to show you information right now to prove that it's incorrect. And the thing is this, she should already know this, right? If you live with Tourette's, you should have more information than the next person that doesn't live with Tourette's. So the fact that she's saying it didn't exist, it was a news article, either means she clearly never tried to look it up and only listened to her circle, because I would imagine that's what her circle says, or she really knows the truth and the truth scares her. So let's go ahead and let's look at some stuff. Right here, I looked up F&D tics from TikTok, and literally this is what pops up. TikTok tics refers to a surge in functional tics, F&D, among teens, particularly girls. That's very important because that's part of my conclusion. Remember that when it comes to the so-called TikTok tics, it's particularly in girls. And if you look at the videos of the so-called people that are faking Tourette's or have Tourette's on TikTok, they are girls who develop sudden, complex, and severe tic-like movements after watching influencers with Tourette syndrome. These are not traditional Tourette's, but rather a form of social contagion, often triggered by stress, anxiety, or pandemic-related mental health distress. Okay? If you look here, trigger, exposure to specific TikTok influencers demonstrating tics. Symptoms, rapid onset of complex, often severe movements. Example, severe arm movements, vocalizations that can include self-injury. They got the distinctions from Tourette's. They got the demographic, predominantly adolescent girls. Unlike the male prevalent nature of traditional Tourette syndrome, males get Tourette syndrome more often. Like I said, there's tics, but there's different disorders for tics. Not everything is Tourette syndrome. Males typically get Tourette syndrome. 3-to-1, 4-to-1 odds, men to women, males get Tourette's. It's reversed when it comes to this stuff. Women get this more, males get it less. That's a very important fact when it comes to what we are seeing on TikTok. Then it goes into management. Treatment often includes cognitive behavior therapy. Remember, she said she went to she said CBIT, but online it says CBT. Again, this is just stuff you can find online. So when she says this stuff, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. Now, here's another thing about social media causing tics. And this is from National Library of Medicine. These are not just news articles. Look at .gov. These are not just news articles. This is discussing gender differences in functional movement disorder. Functional neurological disorders are generally more common in females than males, but the reason for this gender difference is not well understood. Again, FNDs, there's different categories. You have Tourette's, and then you have, different stages of tics where they're not Tourette's. In general, FNDs, women get more. But when it comes to the actual diagnosis of Tourette's, it's mainly men. So here is another article. This is on Tourette.org, not a news article. Tourette.org. Rising incidence of functional tic-like behaviors. Again, on Tourettes.org, right? It's going on talking about how there was this huge surge of adolescents having tic-like behavior. Right here it says some of these young people have tics that look similar to tics shown in popular videos on social media platforms like TikTok. Over the past few years, tics and tic-like symptoms have gained visibility, especially on social media. Young people who watch others with tic-like symptoms on social media may develop symptoms similar to those in the video. Social distancing during COVID-19 has increased time spent on social media, which has greatly exposed people to this content on a global scale. Okay, again, another article referencing social media and tics, and it's not a news article. Here's another article talking about social media increasing tics in adolescents, and it's from Harvard EDU, not a news article. Tics and TikTok, can social media trigger illness? One theme in these articles is COVID-19, the shutdown when COVID happened and what that did to people mentally. In this article, they discuss sociogenic illness, which is basically you getting symptoms of an illness because you are around a person with that illness a lot. So for instance, if you hang out with someone with Tourette's a lot, then all of a sudden you start showing that you have tics. That was a real thing. And of course you have to be mentally susceptible to it, but it's a thing. Now they're saying it doesn't have to happen that way because of social media. It can happen through the social media. You don't have to physically be by these people. Now, to be fair, it does say, and no, a person with sociogenic illness is not just looking for attention or doing it on purpose. But the one last thing I want to show, again, National Library of Medicine. Tics and TikTok. Functional tics spread through social media. And I just want to show this real fast that not only is it articles, they did case studies. So I don't know why she's just calling it a news article. That makes no sense. Now let's read this real quick. The background. Functional movement disorder is a subtype of a functional neurological symptom disorder, a syndrome of involuntary physical neurological type symptoms. They are incongruous with organic disease. Throughout history, there has been outbreaks of functional symptoms in communities. Until recent spread have been confined to groups of people who share physical location. However, in the era of social media, a new mode of dissemination may have arisen. Cases. We described 6 teenage girls, each with the explosive onset of tic-like movement. Mean age of onset was 14.2 years. The presence of features incongruous with Tourette's syndrome on history and examination prompted the diagnosis of functional tics. All patients reported exposure to a specific social media personality before symptom onset. Conclusions. Our series suggests that social media may contribute to the spread of functional neurological symptom disorder in a way previously required physical proximity, meaning being by each other. They're saying now social media seems like it can do the same thing physical proximity used to do. Now, if we go down here, there's a little highlighted area. And it says, in the context of describing a rise in new cases of FMD during the COVID-19 pandemic, the initial observation of abrupt development of tic-like movements and sounds while watching similar phenomenology on social media was described and given the alliterative term, TikTok tics. Here we describe 6 teenage girls who develop functional tics after exposure to a single social media personality. They have the cases, they talk about the cases, the average ages, their tic attacks. Here's some tables of how they're keeping track of stuff. Now down here it says, and I want to point this out, pre-existing psychiatric diagnoses were common in this cohort. 3 had a prior diagnosis of depression, 2 had a prior diagnosis of anxiety, and 1 had a diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder. 4 of the girls experienced significant trauma over the preceding years. Example, witnessing violence within the family, and 1 reported finding her mother unresponsive from a drug overdose. Each patient reported watching videos of tics on the social media platform TikTok before symptom onset, and each identified 1 specific female British TikTok personality they had frequently watched. Now, I just showed you a few articles that aren't news articles, they're medical articles about adolescents getting tics from TikTok. And there was a rise in 2020 through 2021 of specifically adolescent girls getting tics. And with everything I just said, everything I gone over in this video, I've come to possibly 2 conclusions that makes any of this make sense. The first one is the obvious one. I'm not saying that she is, but she could be just faking everything, right? To make the stuff that doesn't make sense, she could just be faking everything. Or maybe she actually was affected in the same way these girls were right here. And for some reason, she doesn't like it. For some reason, maybe she prefers to have Tourette's syndrome. Because everything lines up for it to be this. And she says it doesn't even exist when there's clearly medical studies and stuff saying that it most likely does exist. Let's sum up everything they were saying. Through 2020, through 2021, the COVID pandemic had us on lockdown. So a lot of kids, a lot of people in general were indoors and kept away from other people. That wasn't good for our mental health. So our mental health deteriorated. When did Shay say she got her diagnosis? In between the years of 2020 through 2021. How old was she? An adolescent. Literally around the same age as the average ages of these girls in these studies. Not only that, if you want to say all her friends are legitimate too, they're around the same ages as well. And most of their stories are the exact same. Take that how you want it. And just to give her the benefit of the doubt, if this is her letter, then maybe since this doesn't say Tourette's, maybe it says something that assumes that it was social media and she didn't like that and she wanted to cross it out. Maybe that's what it is. But I can say for certainty, there are definitely things that someone could question. There are definitely things that she has contradicted herself on, and the proof is definitely questionable. So I don't see how anybody can actually say that she's 100% honest about her disorder and what is going on. The only way you can do that is just because you're being a stan of hers, a simp, a knight in shining armor. But other than that, if you're just sitting back thinking and listening to some of the stuff I said, you'd be like, yeah, that doesn't really make sense. And yeah, she did contradict herself. Those aren't things I made up. These are her videos. So that's the conclusion. Either she's faking it 100% or she's just hiding something. And I still think she does add on tics. I don't think her tics are organically as bad as we see them. Obviously, if you're trying to get views, you got to do things big. You got to keep people's attention, and just subtle tics here and there is not going to sell or bring so many views that you're going to have over 1 million in less than a year. It's just not going to happen. And I can tell you right now, whether you guys want to say she's faking it or not, without those tics, she knows, I know, you know, that she wouldn't have over 1 million followers in less than a year. It wouldn't have happened. But now that I went through all this stuff, her videos, responded back to what she was saying, gave you my conclusion of what I feel could be going on, let me tell you guys why I will never make another fake Tourette's TikTok content creator video again. And it's very, very simple. The main reason why I did it in the first place was for people that really had Tourette's. I felt like I was sticking up for them. I felt like if people are going to mock what you have, then I'll expose it and I'll make fun of them a little bit or whatever. But when Shay responded to me, I had to do a little bit deeper dive in this whole Tourette's thing and social media and the Tourette's community. And I found out that they all believe that you cannot tell someone's faking it. That is something they stand on. That is a narrative they want to keep. And in fact, they're also, for obvious reasons, extra sensitive to anybody who says they have Tourette's. So they live by a rule that they're automatically going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Obviously, because that's what they want people to do to them, right? If they tell someone they have Tourette's, they want people to believe them. It all makes sense to me, but also they live by a rule that they will not what they call fake claim. It's like a big no-no. It's like a sin to the Tourette's community. And what I learned is because this is their approach to people faking Tourette's or not faking Tourette's or whatever, they just want to give them the benefit of the doubt and believe them. And why should you question them and all this stuff? But since this is the way they think, what ends up happening, whether you look at it good or bad, is not the point. But what ends up happening is you basically enable and even accept the fact that people fake Tourette's. And if that is the approach and the feeling of the Tourette's community, that they just accept it and even help it out in a way, then there is absolutely no reason for me to try to expose people faking Tourette's. But let me be clear, when it comes to you fake autistic motherfuckers, you guys are still on my radar. But no matter if you're on my radar or off my radar, I'm still gonna need you to hit that bell like the hunchback. Also click that hitchhiker button and sub-ride with me. And I'll see you on the next trip.
Day and night. Keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real. All my life. Keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real. Can't help keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real. That's why I keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.